Last time on PhotoTropic Travel, you followed our adventure through Greece and we left you in bear country. Unfortunately, we didn't see any bears. I really wanted to.
I really didn't. We had 2 days to get from Greece to Croatia, as we needed to be back in the European Union to ensure we had phone signal and data for work first thing Monday morning.
Our route for the weekend was to spend Friday night in Pogradec, then travel through Elbasan and Tirana on Saturday, then into Montenegro Saturday afternoon.
Albanian border. We're a little bit nervous as we have to buy insurance at the border, and we've had lots of hilarious, well, not hilarious at the time, stories of people getting stuck in no man's land, and we've also heard the roads aren't that great, which may not be too good for our vehicle.
So we've just been for a walk around the lake.
And we almost got attacked by geese.
Well, I didn't, Charlotte did. But now we're off to the supermarket to stock up on supplies, just in case we get stuck in no man's land for the next 3 weeks.
So we've just finished work, we're now on our way to the Albanian border. Luke, how are you feeling?
A bit worried.
Why?
Watched Top Gear Albania special last night. A little bit worrying, but we'll see.
Well, once we get past the border, we'll be fine.
Our first hurdle was getting through the Albanian border and purchasing insurance.
We turned the dash cam off as we arrived at the border, as it is forbidden to record. We passed through in no time. We were asked to park up and led into small offices down a windy, narrow corridor and sat in a tiny room with no more than a desk and an old sofa shoved in the corner.
A young Albanian guy asked a few questions and then told us the insurance would be €85. We're only going to be there for a day. We'd seen people usually would charge €50 and we felt it was a little steep, but we weren't going to argue with him.
We were back on our way in no time and soon welcome to wild Albania. It was night time by the time we arrived in Pogradec. Fortunately, we were able to find a small patch of wasteland right next to an abandoned building. We probably weren't meant to park there, but no one seemed to mind.
We then headed into town for some cheap €1 beer and dinner. We found a small family-run outdoor barbecue restaurant, ordered some Albanian cheese, which never came, and a meat platter.
I shared some of mine with my new friend. When we woke up the next day, we didn't realise how close to the lake we were. We could see Macedonia on the other side.
Mid-morning, we headed north to the capital, Tirana. Expecting to go on the ring road, the sat-nav took us right through the centre and straight into a massive traffic jam. Surrounded by Mercedes and cars with English registration plates, or Albanian plates with GB stickers on the back, a few young guys in the car next to us fancied a chat, and I almost engaged in my first drug deal.
Huh? England! Oh, we heard said us some drugs.
Is it?
Yeah. No, it's all good. That's hilarious.
We'd heard that the roads in Albania weren't the best and had been quite worried about our tyres. Previously, the Albanian government hadn't invested as much. Most cargo is taken either by trail with the use of donkeys or by sea. In recent years, the European Union has invested heavily on the Albanian infrastructure to improve the roads linking Greece to the rest of the Union. We had been very impressed until we hit a very deep pothole. A lot deeper than I expected it to be.
What's the noise?
What is that noise?
We have a problem.
Yeah, we're going to have to pull over when you can.
That sounds like a big... That's metal, right? Quick, where can I...
So we've just hit a huge pothole and we've just pulled in here to see whether the wheels are okay. We've had a quick check Everything seems okay. There's been a few stones and that, but yeah, looking all alright at the moment. Until this tractor crashes into us.
There was also another part when our lane was closed due to a rockfall, but hey, that could happen anywhere.
We also enjoyed it how the roads were not just for cars, but also for horse-drawn carts and for walking your cows. We were even stopped by one man walking his flock of sheep.
We weren't sure what these guys were up to, but it certainly looked like they were fly tipping. I wasn't going to stop them.
It wasn't long until we reached the Albania Montenegro border. We were nervous again as we knew we were over the limit on certain restrictions, such as 1 bike or motorbike per person, 1 camera per person, plus we had to get insurance and we really didn't want to pay €85 again.
We passed through the border with no complications. The officer that checked our documents pointed us in the direction of where to buy the insurance. We had looked around and we were worried that insurance here would be expensive, and he was showing us again to his mate.
There was nothing anywhere else, so sheepishly we went to the window and were charged €15. Had they seen our vehicle?
If I could hear my father's voice, he would tell me to move on. He would say I'll be just fine.
We spent the night right on the beach in a small seaside resort called Budva. The beaches were nice and the water looked pretty, but it wasn't great for snorkeling.
The following morning we continued on our way as we really needed to arrive in Croatia by evening. We decided to take the ferry across the Bay of Kotor instead of driving round the coast road. It was fun trying to get on and we may have scraped a little bit. From here we headed to Croatia.
This was also the first time an officer actually came in to search the motorhome. He didn't look very hard and I think he was just being nosy.
As he was jumping down, he asked whether we had anything to declare. I quietly said, "We do have a bit of alcohol on board," to which he replied,
"We are not Islamic State. You can bring alcohol into my country."
Luke, where are we?
Croatia!
We had made it back to the European Union and survived. However, we did wish that we could have stayed a little bit longer in Albania and Montenegro. Both countries were beautiful and completely different to what we had expected. We were pleasantly surprised and will definitely be going back.
We then spent the next few days in Dubrovnik and found a great spot just outside the city, 2 minutes away from the beach. We enjoyed walking around the old town and visiting the hole-in-the-wall bars.
We're too young to talk about forever, talk about the weather, to know any better. I just want to laugh until I can't breathe. Midnight moonlight dancing, never get enough sleep. Oh, the whole night through. And we could count the distant tumbling stars from the roof of our cars, letting go of our hearts. Close your eyes, pretend that it's your first kiss. Darling, can you feel it?
Thank you for watching our journey through Albania, Montenegro and into Croatia. Next week, join us for visiting Mali Ston and scuba diving to an underwater wine cellar just round the coast in Croatia.